All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's a beautiful Monday evening, right? And hope you're having a wonderful day as well. Thank you very much for being here. We are off to a great start today. And thanks for listening to that. I wanted us to listen to the entire thing before getting started today. It's our latest video on YouTube. If you want to check it out, I'm going to get you the title, something about Achebe's secret message to Yoruba people. Do you know Achebe's secret message to Yoruba people? That's the thumbnail, and the title is. A lot of people have, reached out to me on that video, personally, privately, but we've also had some newsers reach out to us, publicly, insulting us and essentially comparing us to their fathers. But everybody will be all right. Um, you should watch that video. Chinachebe's secret message exposing Igbo's true agenda in Lagos. And I remember saying that it's from a fiction, his work titled No Longer at Ease. But like we all know, a writer's worldview somehow permeates his work or seeps into it at least. And the proverb itself, turns out, is not something that he conjured. He didn't make up the proverb. It's a proverb that they all speak. It's like when you come up with. You can't hear very well. My audio sounds like the microphone is far away. Okay, I was afraid this could happen. Just give me a second. I'm going to get that sorted. King of Drama. One second. Let's get this sorted. Thank you very much, Mr. M. Someone says it's loud and clear. So who should we believe? Whose report will you believe? We shall believe the report of the. Please, everyone, is the sound very good on your end? Just to be sure if it's something from here or just from my brother Jeremy's place. It's perfect now. Okay. I thought it was. I just wanted to be. Okay, so it's perfect. Uh, Mr. Omi, you may want to step out and step back in. Maybe it's your device. All right. Maybe it's your device. So please step out and step back in. It happens. Right. It happens. I'll finish what I was saying about that stuff for just a second. Let me confirm this audio thing. My brother, the sound is perfect. All right, where were we? So I was saying that the video we just listened to on our YouTube channel is titled Chino Achebe's Secret Message Exposing Igbo's True Agenda in Lagos. And I had said when we started talking about the conversation, when we started having the conversation itself, that it's a proverb, right? And that the book itself, of course, is a work of fiction, but the proverbs he was putting in there were not things that he created himself. He didn't conjure. It's when a lot of people came on different platforms and said, like, what's wrong with that proverb? Whether it's on TikTok, particularly on Twitter, right? Twitter and YouTube. What's wrong with that proverb? They don't see anything wrong with that proverb, and it's quite enlightening if you really ask me. I think it's a beautiful thing to discover afresh that we are not the same people. And what's the proverb? In case you have not heard it, and you should watch the video, you're going to enjoy it. By the way, it says, "We are strangers in the land. If good comes, may we have a share of it. But if bad comes, let it go to the owners of the land." Right? May we have a share of it. But if bad comes, let it go to the owners of the land who know what God wants to appease. In other words, they are going to take advantage of the largesse, but they're not going to be part of whatever challenges you have in your society. They are perpetual strangers in your space. You are the ones who think Nigeria constitution changes people's cultural outlook. It doesn't. It only exacerbates it. It only shows, it makes it even more pronounced. That's what it does. It doesn't change who you are. So whatever you see people do right now is literally a product of their cultural outlook. And by the way, it's not like it's good or it's bad. But the conversation is not whether it's good or bad. It's just to show the difference between how we see life and how we see things. So that you don't expect that people see things the way you do. And if you want to run your society based on your own cultural outlook and worldview, it should be what's the mildest word I can use, pedestrian or juvenile, for you to assume that the other person will run your place the way you want to, just because you say this is my thing, especially when the person is not willing to actually acculturate. They're not trying to integrate or become part of what you're doing, just trying to authorize themselves and make themselves distinct from the owners of the land. But they will struggle to get the good with you. But when it comes to the evil or the bad, that the challenges, the problems you have is just yours. So you hear things like we all own it, or we all own Lagos, but you people, your Lagos is smelling. If we all own Lagos, how come is my Lagos as is smelling? How come it's not our Lagos as is smelling? Tells you exactly the mindset of the people. So a lot of people went to town insulting me, but I think it's okay. And Toba Jeff Laramafu, for the Yoruba people, we've got to know these things so that we actually prepare ourselves and we understand how to move within this beautiful country called Nigeria. Before we go on, I'd like to thank everybody who has helped to get our likes up on TikTok. Right now, we're at 74.9K likes. Thank you very, very much for your support. Very great minds have been here power tapping. Jake's man, um, Ibo Jinoju, thank you, sir. Koboko, thank you. T Dan, thank you so much. Akadol, thank you. And every other person I can say, Yomi Ogulogunde, thank you, sir. Thank you, sirs. Ama. Benny Agbe, thank you very much. Thanks again. So thanks for power tapping. Thanks for sharing the. Okay, just tap on it repeatedly. That actually helps with the engagement on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, please like and share. We're also streaming on Instagram today and on Twitter. I want to try out Instagram and see what's going to look like. Hope it turns out very nice. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it's streaming now. By the way, we had an issue with my Instagram account and I just started a new one. So we'll see. It's Pusui Oris underscore. Excuse me, please. All right. So what was I saying? Shoot. Yeah, Busui Oris underscore on Instagram. Please follow the account. I want to try and push out content there as well. So that's also why we're having a live there right now. Thank you very very much. So again, if you're on YouTube, please engage. Let's like and share the live. We have a lot of things to cover because it's a Monday. Um, but towards the end, we might read some books to help us understand the news. So unlike what we did on Friday, today's news that may lead to history. Friday was more history than anything else. I will probably do that again tomorrow. So we'll be mixing it like that. Sinchin says it has been a known fact that insults and disrespectfulness are okay. It is well. Oh boy. All right. We're going to get into this. So let's begin with something we mentioned in the video we just listened to. By the way, if you're just joining us, before starting, sometimes we listen to music. We always listen to music on TikTok, but sometimes we also listen to recordings that you find on Busiori's YouTube channel. Okay, so earlier today we listened to Chinachebe's secret message, to Yoruba people, right? And one of the things we said in that video is that there's a particular gentleman, if I can call him that, who the member representing Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency in Abuja, the National Assembly, House of Representatives, how he had 29 slots for empowerment or training in South Africa, in Taiwan, and China, and he gave 24 to Igbo people. Well, that man is in the news again, and this time he was at the Palace of the Osolo. And I mean, at some point, we have to talk to ourselves, Yoruba people. I knew allow. You can't have somebody do like this if you don't have clowns amongst you. Tabamberu, Kamaberu. We have issues. You will hear some of them in this video, just talking like clowns. He went to the palace, he wants to go again because we have not suffered enough in the hands of somebody who wants to ethnicize the entire place by saying that he's detribalized. What an interesting way of achieving your dreams. Anyway, I'd like us to take a listen to this exchange the man was at the palace, and the palace representative actually, also told him what the people are thinking. And then when we're done, we're going to talk about the video much later. But before we get started, let me thank folks on YouTube who joined. Okay. He's an obedient, very stupid person. Why do you people use Wolodo like you don't know what it means? Let me tell you the title of today's interview before we get on. So if you want to cry, you can easily cry and hug transformer. Ìran ẹgbẹ́rẹ́ ní ìsùnkún ẹ̀bẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀sùnkún náà ni. The title of today's service, today's session, is Peter Obi's latest lackluster interview. Mo gbọ́ òyìnbó yẹn fún ni. Peter Obi's latest, I was just joking, but you get the point. Peter Obi's latest lackluster interview, Atiku, Obasanjo, and Osoba in the mix. There are other things, but those are the two things that can just fit in there. So Peter Obi's the interview he gave yesterday was absolute hogwash. So what's this person's name? It's usually you're even a coward. You don't have a name. I understand. It's a legacy that you don't have to fail your fathers. Anyway, the point is, Peter Obi's interview that I gave yesterday, the one on Channels TV, absolute nonsense. I mean, we'll listen to bits of it. And the parts where I think that people are trying to also spin, I'll also be gracious enough to acknowledge the things that I think people are trying to spin out of what was really saying. Okay? But the interview was lackluster. If you have a problem with that, hug a transformer. All right. And then we'll talk about Atiku, Obasanjo, and Osoba. That will actually get us into books. But we'll get to that. We'll read from OBJ, my watch. We'll also read from Chief Osoba, Battle Line. That's the title, right? Yeah, Battle Lines. So we'll do those later. But let's begin with this honorable who went to the palace. Take a listen to this. By the way, sorry, people on YouTube, I know some of them are beginning to step out. Just understand, I don't consider Obedient as very smart people, because Peter Obi is not the kind of candidate that anybody should support if they're really thinking people. So I know that some of you are angry and you want to step out. I'm used to it. Let me just say that it's not going to do me anything. But thank you very much for coming. God bless you, and God give you wisdom because you need it. Let's get started with JC Okay Onwa Kalusi. 1 second, please. All right, take a listen, please.
Records are not documentation are not properly kept. So we want to document our efforts. And this is the stuff that our last Thanksgiving, September last year, we have not added the more. So we want to thank the salt. I think they are worried that we have not forgotten that you are the owners of the land. We want to associate with you moving forward. We look forward for more collaboration and partnership. But one thing is certain, he said all others. I know he expected this visit in 1 month, but there's an African proverb that says it is better late than late. And this note, I want to thank you and thank all those who came to thank you about this.
If Kabisi is there, is what Kabisi said. I can see your entourage, and that is our complaint. We that you are representing, we don't have any Yoruba among you. Even though if there is a Oluwajabeji. No, if there is, it's going to be one or two. They don't complain that even though they were done with you guys, there is complaint that always come to the palace that our honorable do not focus on Yoruba. Even though we want to do 10 something for 7 or 6 will go to Igbos, while 3 or 4 will come to Yoruba. They have been complaining it. But whenever they are saying it, they hammer me. If I tell lie, they will join me. Already happened me. That's what I'm wrong. That's how they attack me, but I don't have anything to say. And the principle of this issue is that for you to come and bring envelope drinks is not what we are asking. Do you understand me? The Osoba is the head of every one of us in this community. We are having 3 hours in the conference, that is Osoba and John Atiku. Is Osoba because it's patient Osoba. The first Osoba happened was only on because of we had have over 40 Obas. You don't normally visit the palace or communicating with the grandfather himself. That's and that thing that commissioning the new palace. They are not here. Assembly 2 is not here. And I know when they talk in your absence is that even if it's Yoruba, will not be like this. As Jude and what do you call this one? So no, Jude is assembly. It's only God that did it, but through it. For them to have the ticket and skate through, they turn back to this is all entirely. They turn their back against this is all. You just see them throughout their tenure. This is how they fail. And we call ourselves one Nigeria. Assuming we see ourselves as one Nigeria, we will not use tribalism to operate in any appointment given to us because it's an elective post. I just want to appeal or plead. If I'm a friend to you and you are a friend to me, ask both of us when have we seen last, and we call ourselves a friend. If you did not see me as maybe a Yoruba man, at least I always see you. Me that we live in the same area. Do I not complain to you? But you are not a small child that I can be controlling as if I'm controlling my son. We are all adults. We know difference between left and right. Another election is coming now, and there is a statement Kabisi said he had from reliable sources that our honorable here said we Yoruba we are minority. Propaganda. But I agree because the time Kabisi told me this, I opened my mouth. He's already behind me saying, I can't close your mouth now. Because I was from that.
All wrong comment. I apologize for all. It was not deliberate. but it was exigencies of time, and I assure Kabiyesi that the remaining 1 year before the next election, I'll do something that will remember. So that's what I want to say. And when God brings us back, I will revise them. I just know that I want to thank you, all the attendants. I have a very formal question. Yeah. The constituency office research.
1 second, please.
This is some of the things we have done.
This thing is long. Let's just, cut to the chase. A few things. Number one, he said, the palace representative said that Kabiyesi had told him that he heard that Lacklustre said that Yoruba people are the minority, and you have people among them saying it's propaganda. Let's take a listen to that interview where he said it.
And I work with conviction of my soul.
Specifically, Honorable, will you consider indigent quotas in future selection?
Well, in Nigeria, most said that in 1973, quota system was introduced in Nigeria. And the essence is that you accommodate even the minority in the welfare. So these are things that we will be able to take into place and be able to do it so that everybody will be happy. And not only look at the merit of what I've done, the work I've done, and the excellent things I've brought to the world. I must say that in my election to be here, and I have played social the sorrow, which I consider in the house as the habit of Lagos at the front runner. And anybody come from Ocean should be proud of what my achievement and what I've done. I've attested beyond all those who are represented in the last 23 years of the Fourth Republic. And I want you to shake the record. The record speaks for itself. And in the house, I have proven myself to be a worthy ambassador of Ocean.
They said, are you going to ensure that the Yoruba people have, their quota? You say even the minorities. In other words, and you know what? Whatever he does is fine. It's the Yoruba people on that place, on his team, that when they said you said it's about Yoruba people, said, he did not say it is propaganda. Oh, this if you're here with Yoruba people, you probably have one or two on your team. Oh, Akbombi. Meanwhile, the man was actually going somewhere. The point is, Togiri Obalanu, Alangbole, the we have cracks in our walls, and the cracks are clowns who are either trying to pander or trying to prove the idea of one Nigeria. And the man representing the palace kept saying, if we're one Nigeria and you have an appointment, you're not going to use tribalism. The point is that what does it even mean to be one Nigeria in that sense? And while I don't even like the idea of reciprocity, would you even have that kind of thing in the Southeast? The answer is no. And guess what? Even if you did, it still doesn't concern me. I still would not want to have a non-Yoruba person, particularly a person who is not willing to identify with the owners of the land. How is it that your KBAC is doing something, you're not part of it? Why? Because where you come from, they don't matter. They don't really count. Who cares? Igbo and Weze. In other words, Igbos have no kings. So you are hearing that one KBAC wants to open their palace. What does that mean to you? And it doesn't mean make him a bad person. It just doesn't. His frame of reference doesn't capture that kind of king. A king wants to open a palace. I should now go there to go and do what? That's how you'll be thinking, because where he's coming from, they don't do it like that. Do you have a problem with that? Not really. That's his frame of reference. The point is, you who have a different frame of reference, how come you're always having people like this represent you? Because you're trying to prove you are detribalized. You are not thinking straight. If you're Yoruba man, you're thinking, listen, there's nothing like detribalization. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Nowhere in this country does that thing exist apart from the Southwest. It's not in your own land that you go to your civil service and the place is full of different people from different places. And I have no problem with it. When I'm going somewhere, stay with me. Whether you go to Lagos, Lagos Secretariat, Lagos State Secretariat, Alausa. Whether you go to Lagos State Secretariat, or you go to Oyo State Secretariat, or you go to Osun State Secretariat, or you go to Ondo State Secretariat, Ogun State Secretariat, Ekiti State Secretariat. I intentionally mentioned it like that. State Secretariat. Don't just say if you go to Oyo, if you go to Osun. No, if you go to Lagos State Secretariat or Osun State Secretariat, any state secretariat in the southwest, you will have more Yoruba people clearly, but you're going to have different ethnicities there. Go to other regions now. I'm not saying other regions don't allow other people, but they're not as open as we are. And the crazy part in Nigeria is that it's the open group that is being told to be open, to be more open. Meanwhile, the closed one are the one who are shouting all over the place, open, open, open for everybody. But at home, they're very closed. How do I know? Because I shared something with you the other day. Enugu was, it's not even Enugu alone. Anambra State was to have a vacancy, to put out a vacancy notice. They put it there. The person that's coming to get the job must be an indigenous of Anambra State. If you like, call it whatever you call it. If you say it's tribalism, they don't care. They want an Anambra person to. That is not even an appointment, though, in terms of political appointment. This is a job. We are all Nigeria, they said must be an indigenous of Anambra State. The Enugu story, that one I would never, it will never not be weird to me. They said number one, the person must come from the word of origin. Number two, apart from being from that word as in WARD, so it's no longer just state, indigenous of the state or local government. Now word must be from that word, and then they must be able to speak the dialect in that particular word, not the Igbo language. The dialect. In other words, imagine Konokwe is forget about the standard language that we all speak, but the one they speak in that particular location must be the one you speak. Where would you have a chance in that as a Yoruba man or Yoruba woman? And I don't even think you're going there to look for any job anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have places that are choked up. The woman in Anambra State, federal institution in Anambra State, decided to recruit people, less than 1,000, just about 900, a bit over 900 people, from what we heard. If compared to 900, Goni. Of that group, the woman got 65 from Enugu, 811 from Anambra State, indigenous of Anambra State, in a federal government institution. Forget me, I'm Yoruba, forget me. How about somebody from Ebonyi? In your own region, you couldn't even make it open to everybody. 811 from about 900. How many can remain? 811 from Anambra, 65 from Enugu. How much is that? That's 876. What thing can remain? Then one from Bayelsa, two from here, one from Moyo, one from Katsina. Which actually one? Leave Oyo, we don't care. How about your own people in your own space? So you cannot. How do you give 811 out of less than 1,000? About 900 posts. About 900 posts, and you give 811 to one state. Federal government, then you go all over the country telling everybody how they should be detribalized. Are you joking? All of that to say this. Someone like Onakula, there's nobody that can stop anybody from running. He has a constitutional right to run. But he has no constitutional right to win. Therefore, he should keep running and never arrive. Never win. That's the goal in Yoruba land. Listen, I don't mind even non-Yoruba people running Yoruba land, or even winning for that matter. But those will be people that actually consider us, because this is disrespectful. You don't even consider us fit. Like our culture doesn't even make sense to you enough to even learn our language. Great, or it will become part of us, or be able to work with the traditional rulers. It's just acting as if you are in your hometown. Kabiyesi is now saying, and since you got there, it did not come when they were opening the palace. Why would they come? Question more why now? They now said, and this 1 year that we have, who doesn't know that this 1 year you have is just to campaign for the next opportunity? When God brings us back, which God? And when people start, see, politics is Yahweh gone. When the person start telling you when God brings us back, he's telling you something. decode it however you want. When God brings us back, okay, go and tell that God to vote for you now. Go and tell God to vote for you. Since it's God, there's a mark from heaven that you must be there. What makes people think that the owners of the land don't have their own people? Meanwhile, this person is saying that we know you are the owner of the land. Well, you know the one telling us now that it doesn't really matter, that you are just detribalized. Anybody can. 24 out of 29 opportunities for Igbo people in Isolo. How? And you can't talk. Bunch of clowns. Once you talk now, what did they been saying? They will not calling you a kid because you're a bigot, you're a trigot. Like I said, it's because they are maggots. You can't talk, or you must say everything. We're all one Nigeria. Back home, you are doing word of origin. You can't even allow somebody from another state, a neighboring state, let alone from another region. But you come to Yoruba land, everybody is shouting one Nigeria. That's how people will carry. I don't know what they call it. I don't want to say what they say. I saw a video last week. A girl, her dream in life is to live in Lagos. Shark, whatever they have, I don't want to mention the way they say it because Oman sound back on. They just carry it and come to Lagos. As soon as they get there, they'll be demanding good governance. Good governance that you didn't demand when you were back in your village. Anyway, Ẹkáàbọ àti bá àti lẹ́kìn lọ ń sìn yìí ẹlẹ́yọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Ẹkáàbọ sí àwa táwa nílé. Ẹ wo, ẹni tó bá jẹ́ Yorùbá, járe. I have no problem with loving people. I think it's normal. It's love. It's life. You should love people. You should wish. Our fathers call us Afenifere. They've been using that nomenclature since the 1950s. Afenifere. Afenifere. If you go back to 1945, the charter that they're going to do drew up in 1945. If you see the way they wrote it, they wrote plans for Yoruba people and plans for Nigeria. When they restarted this in 1947 in Lagos, and then 48 in Ife to officially inaugurate it, they had a charter for Yoruba people and for Nigeria. When you look at the way Papa wrote his works and the vision he had for the country, and he had something for his people and there's something for Nigeria. It's people who are selfish and parasitic in nature that want to now teach us, who have the legacy of Abenifere, how to live. And we're supposed to cower and say, because we are all children of God. Children of God does not mean that you own what belongs to me, unless you are trying to be a thief. If you're a Yoruba person, love everybody. You're very like your fathers, because that's the legacy we have. But don't be naive. Your fathers were not naive. All this nonsense we do in the name of one Nigeria is stupid. And I see it on social media. One clown, I won't even play the person's video. How can you Yoruba people be bigots like this? I mean, I don't like bigotry. Because bigotry is like just hating and discriminating against people because, of hate. There's nothing like that. But when it comes to the concept of self-preservation, every single country that's thriving today practices it. Every single ethnic nation that thrives today practices it. Every single one. Think of it, everyone. Including anyone you can think of. Anywhere in the world. Every ethnic nationality that is thriving in the world today practices self-preservation. If you don't practice it, it's because you are dumb. Including the person who is telling you that you are wrong. He is also I've said it several times. People come to your space and they suddenly become liberal. Back home, they're as conservative as it comes. And that's why when I see some conservatives in the UK, I don't really have any problem with it, to be honest. And I understand that naturally we don't want to labor and everything. But it's their home. I want policies that will favor me. I get it. But I also have to see things from their perspective. Sometimes it can be extreme, like we have extreme Yoruba, we have extreme you can have extremes everywhere. There are extreme people anywhere in the world. But that doesn't change the fact that the core of the concept and the core of the ideals is actually something that makes sense. You preserve your space. Can't tell me speaking English to me. I did not colonize anybody in Nigeria now. And my fathers did not owe anybody in this country anything. And Yoruba land is not the laboratory to practice the tribalization of one Nigeria. Let's do it in another person's place. So let's see how it works. They never try and they fight, they shout. on top of everything, because let me not go deep into it because it's not today's topic. I'm just trying to explain to us that you should love everybody. We're all one Nigeria, you know, build a great nation together. But stop displacing yourself in the name of pleasing another person because you want to prove that you are one Nigeria. Are you dumb? We do it a lot as Yoruba people. I could make sense. Them beat me because I watched that video. I was like, it's not even the man that's talking, it's the Yoruba people on the table that were just not on fiata at Magisi, Nikoko, Akpo, propaganda ni. Let us love everybody, but protect your space. Next election, Sharaba or Wale, Oba Foridole. You are not part of us, we are not voting for you. If you like, say that we are big, that's your problem. In fact, maybe the insult they insulted me on Twitter today was making me talk. I'll just seen them. Won't that be greedy? Just be insulting me anyhow. The point is, if you like, cry. We are not voting for Igbo in Lagos. We are not. And not just Igbo. Anybody who doesn't care about Yoruba culture, who doesn't care about it enough to integrate and wants to rule, we will not vote for you. You can cry. You will cry blood. Nobody cares. I don't know why you are pained. Because back home, you see a lot of videos, I've played a lot of videos here now. I don't want to change today's topic. Back home, somebody was talking about somewhere from a point. He said the great grandfather was from Eza. God did not allow him to become governor of our state. How can you say the great grandfather of somebody was from Eza? That's a boy, by the way. And wants to become governor of Enugu State. His great grandfather, not his father, not his grandfather. Hey, how many generations does it take? His great grandfathers from Eza. Have you heard that video? Have you heard that clip before? Let me see. If I find it for you, I'll play. If I don't find it, take my word for it. Trust me. Go and verify. P2B. I'm going to listen to P2B today. P2B. Oh my show. I'll look for that video. I'll play for you. So you understand the fact that if you think that if you're a Yoruba person who doesn't understand stuff, all of us will wake up. Collect your money. Wake up. Video I'd have loved to play it for you guys. Something tells me I will find it, and I found it. Take a listen.
The great grandfather is from Eza.
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's not even great grandfather, it's great grandfather. Oh boy. Let's listen from the beginning.
The great grandfather is from Eza. He's from Ebonyi. They settled at Owo. They had an income. And today somebody will tell me, they have to come, Karoma. When you bring somebody from Ebonyi to come and be the governor of Enugu State, God will not allow that.
God did not allow it in Enugu State, but Onokwalisi is saying that when God makes them win, the same God that they are talking about here should go ahead to Onokwalisi people. How now? Great grandfather, grandfather, father, and the man. How long does it take to become part of a place? And that is why I say some people in Yoruba land, even if they live for 1,000 years, they will never be part of us. Why? If you go back to the video we played before we got started today, Achebe's secret message to Yoruba people. It's on YouTube. He wrote something in his book, No Longer at Ease. By the way, he first said that they see themselves as sojourners everywhere they go. He talked about the fact that there's a community called Umofia. They are Igbo people, and they had a meeting in Lagos mainland. And then they said a prayer. And the elderly man took kola nut and broke it apart and prayed. And he said, we are strangers in this land. If good comes to it, may we have a share of it. But if bad comes to the land, may it go to the owners of the land. Let it go to the owners of the land who know the gods to appease. In other words, in their mind, they are strangers in the land. It's not about integrating. It's not about acculturating. It's not about trying to assimilate. All those things are far, 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 far. But if good comes, may we must take it. We can become governor, use constitution. We can be speaking English and be saying we have right. But as soon as you hear that there's something wrong with the land, it doesn't concern us again. That's why you can easily flee after Oso Abiola. During Oso Abiola, just flee. All right. So everybody take care of their father's house. Okay. You can live anywhere in Nigeria. You have a right. As a matter of fact, you have a right to run. Because I see some people saying you don't have a right to run as a Yoruba man. If you're not a Yoruba man, they have a right to run. But nobody has a right to win. So run. Voila. Keep running. Keep running. By the time you get to the end of the kidney, you see another place you have to run to. You run. Wasa for 40. So let them keep running. Someone says that's why they are laughing at Orire's kidnap. Meanwhile, thank you for mentioning that. You know, when the terrible incident happened and the woman was, you know, the principal, the pupils, students were kidnapped at a local government of your state. Um, Terrible stuff. A lot of people were there to say, "Oh, sorry, see what happened to them. We must fight. People must go. You know, something happened in the local government. The children, bring back our children." As soon as the children were brought back, they said it's a lie. Tells you, our, there are people in this country that are very, very demonic, demon possessed. You heard about the misfortune of a person. You're going to jump on that in order to use it as an opportunity because you're an opportunist. You use it as an opportunity to talk about what is actually paining you, which is that Tinubu should leave. You now heard that that the women, the principal, the teachers, the students are now back, and you start saying it's a lie. Anyway, let's play something from that woman. Last Sunday, which was yesterday, the woman, of course, we're very glad that they're released. The woman, that's the principal, Mrs. Alamu, was in church and she gave a testimony. I think we should listen to that before we get into other political conversations today. All right? Give me a second. I'll play you something from Mrs. Alam because we should. Bible says that we should rejoice with those who rejoice. It's these demons that will mourn with those who mourn, but not rejoice with those who rejoice. The Bible, Jesus said you should mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice. These clowns will mourn with those who mourn and mourn when you are rejoicing. That's demon possession. If nobody has told you the truth, we will tell you. With love. Hallelujah. Where were we? Where is this video of Mrs. Alamu now? And I saw it earlier today. Give me a second, please. I'll find it for you. It's worth the wait. If I don't find it here, I'll check the other device. Because people said that it was drama that they took them in there, that it was a movie. Just clowns. 1 second. All right. I'll play this one. But I want to start from the wife. But the husband also spoke. So let's just take a listen to both, however long. If it's too long, I'll cut it short. Take a listen, please.
Wide. That's all you back. That's all you back. There's one testimony of the forest and one testimony of the city. I belong to the city. My wife belongs to the forest. Ẹ̀rí wa ọ̀nà méjì ló pín sí tí a gé jù. àti ti ìgboro. Ìyàwó mi ni ó ní testimony aginjù. Èmi ni mo ní testimony ìgboro. Àwọn tó sì mọ family wa dáadáa wọ́n mọ̀ pé
a máa gbọ́ testimony ìgboro later àbí ká lọ wò lórí fọ́nrán ká lọ wo fọ́nrán yẹn lórí ayélujára. A lè gbọ́ kí testimony yóò bá ní testimony kì í ṣe ìfilọ̀ is announcement ìfilọ̀ ló wá sí mi lọ́kàn. Ọ̀rọ̀ tán fẹ́ sọ ṣá, ọ̀rọ̀ rere, ìròyìn ayọ̀ tọ́mú tọ̀ wá, ẹ̀rí àdá fún yín bàbá mi, ẹ̀rí tó fẹ́ jẹ́ ká gbọ́, á gbọ́ ẹ̀rí ti ìgboro. A lè lọ wo ẹ̀rí wọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára, fọ́nrán ẹ̀rí wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ wo fọ́nrán ẹ̀rí, a fẹ́ gbọ́ láti àwọn tó ní ẹ̀rí ti aginjù, ìyẹn Madam Alamu, principal, ẹ gbọ́ wọn. She's going to speak English anyway, so.
That's just one instance. Apart from seeing the hand of God right from the beginning, the 7th week was the hardest for us all. That was when the troop increased their hair rates. It was so intense and persistent that at a point, the fear of the bandits became secondary. We were just praying that missiles will not be accidentally dropped on us. But God kept us because we were so exposed, only covered with polythene bags and grasses. So amidst that fear, God consoled our hearts. And that week, it started on Monday. They had told us the previous week that the governor said that before Friday the next week we will be released. So we were calm. But when the hearing started on Tuesday, they become so furious. So towards the end of that week, the commander came, said, "Principal, come." I was already shaking because I know what that could mean. So immediately they said, "See what your government has done. I'm going to kill one of you today." Hey, I just fell down, rolling on the ground. I brought 4 men. There are only 2 remaining. You still want to take another one? I already know that the knowledge of the other 2 will continue to haunt me for a long time. I was just rolling on the ground. And unlike him, he became calm. He became calm. He said they should call me, that when he left our place, that I should come. He said, "Now that the government has been doing this, what do you want us to do?" I said, "What you asked for is beyond any of the victims' family. Just ask for what we can run around for." He said, "Okay, I will send your message." I thought that had gone. Later in the night, we started hearing shovels walking. Man, the 2 of them were shouting, "Mama, what do you know? Shovel. Money, one ṣiṣẹ́ kan lọ́wọ́ ni." I was crying as I was saying because we all knew what that meant. They were about to bury another person. So those 2, they were shouting, they were pleading, "Mama, glory of God." That night, they just asked us to move. Himself, he will be asked to stay there. And they said, "Mama, principal, tell them we are ready to sacrifice any one of them if they make noise. They cannot kill all of us." How do you tell a 1 year, 3 months baby that do not cry? How do you tell a 2-year-old that you must not ask for food? Those periods, they were not free to prepare food because they were afraid that smoke will rat them out. So we go hungry most of the time. But to the glory of God, we left that camp to the last camp before we were rescued and released. While I was there, apart from praying for God's release, I specifically asked for 2 things. One, I pray that I will not meet an empty house. I knew how strong my husband's health is. So at a point when they told me that he has closed the line of communication, I said, something has happened to him. He wouldn't have done that on his own. So when we were rescued, I was so persistent that one of the armies had to put a call through to him that I should talk to him. So I knew God answered that prayer. The other thing I specifically asked was my health. The place was so terrible that anything could have happened that place. I just told God, my grave should not be numbered in the forest. And God helped me. We were in a place that when you are shaking with fever, the first question is it malaria you have or fever? And the solution is 2 tablets of paracetamol. At worst, Bosca, or whatever they call that name. That last week on Sunday, because of the stress I had gone through in the 7th week, I broke down. My temperature was on the roof and I was shaking. So I just called one of them, the camp commander. I told her, can I have 2 tablets of paracetamol? She said, no problem. The woman sitting next to me said, Mommy, this is not paracetamol. I said, God will work with it. I used that paracetamol, and to the glory of God, it was as if I was never having the symptoms of malaria. So God saw us. It was God's hand. The release was miraculous. No, but I cannot say this is what happened. And just like that man in Luke who said, they were asking him, this man is a sinner, this man is this man. I said, I don't know, but what I know, I was blind, but now I can see. I know that I was incarcerated for a period of time. And at the right time, God rescued me and brought me into unto the Lord.
All right, we're also very happy for that good news. I wanted us to listen to the full thing because it's good news and it's important to celebrate with those who celebrate. We're very glad that they were released. She used the word they were rescued and then they were released by those who rescued them. Contrary to the nonsense you hear on social media that, oh, they were not really rescued. They were just those people who thought about like, what's life about? Let's just help these people. We're just going to release them. That's what certain people want us to believe. Those certain people, interestingly, have now been, some of them, people like them, have people from their side of the country, and I hope that this stops at some point. But some of them were taken not by kidnappers but by government officials in Ghana. I'd like to take a listen to this. While we're talking about people being kidnapped here, some people in Nigeria have been involved in human trafficking, and some of them were caught in Ghana. This is what happened. Take a listen.
Nigerian nationals for human trafficking and cybercrime at Kwabenya, 18 victims rescued. Still on human trafficking, the Ghana Police Service has arrested 5 suspects for human trafficking and cyber-enabled criminal activities at Kwabenya, Accra, following an intelligence-led operation conducted on 12 July 2026 by the Cybercrime Unit in collaboration with the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit and the CID Headquarters Operations Unit. The 5 suspects are Chigozie Azubweke, age 35, Edwin Onyema, age 24, Kingsley Inwachuku, age 29, Henry Ebuke, age 32, and Harrison Godwin, age 26. 52 assaulted mobile phones and several wireless internet devices believed to have been used in the commission of cybercrime offenses were recovered and secured for forensic examination. Intelligence received on 11 July 2026 indicated that a group of people had trafficked several young Nigerians into Ghana and were housing them at a residential property at Kwabenya, where they were being compelled to engage in cybercrime activities. A team of officers were dispatched to the scene. A search of the 3-bedroom apartment revealed 1 bedroom locked, Suspect Chigozie Azubike claimed the room belonged to his elder brother who had traveled. Officers found the explanation suspicious and forced entry. Inside the room, police found 22 young Nigerian nationals. Preliminary investigations indicate that 18 of them, aged between 15 and 24, are victims of human trafficking brought from Nigeria. The victims have been instructed by Chigozie Azubike, identified as their self-styled chairman, to hide from the police. 18 victims have been rescued and placed in a safe location under the care of the appropriate authorities. On 16 July 2026, the 5 suspects were put before the Accra Circuit Court 7 and remanded into police custody to assist investigations.
I think that Nigerians of good conscience everywhere in the world should speak up at this point, because if you're having, I mean, there's no ethnicity without crime. Like there's nobody only pass. But if it turns out that when you go to this part of the world, you see particular ethnicity, that part of the world the same ethnicity, you have about 130 something or 160 something people were released from Ethiopia, that same ethnicity. They are also in Indonesia, they're in Thailand, they're in India, in Vietnam, in Pakistan, and then these are the things that people should be focused on, and hopefully they should curb it. But instead of doing that, what they decide to do is to focus on things that will not really help them, their destiny, or their part of the country. And one of such things is what happened over the weekend. So apparently, WAFCON is about to begin. Women are playing football, and they were clothed in um, adire. Stay with me. They're clothed in adire. Beautiful picture, right? The ladies going to play football, and one person decided to crash out, and she said they look like the Senegal women's team, far from Nigeria. It says here they turned young girls into oldies. At this point, just rename the country the Federal Republic of Yoruba. Why? Because the ladies were wearing adire. Now, we did a video here some time ago when we were discussing um, the change in the NYC uniform and the suggestion by the Minister of Youth Youth and Development, that they were going to start using local fabrics like adire. And people went down saying that no, no, they can't use adire, they can't use adire, it's becoming Yoruba. Now, some Yoruba people, being clowns that some of us are, went up to say, oh, that's true. Let's do something that is more Nigerian because adire is. And I remember saying that when we had First Act 77, it was Queen Idia mask that we used, though. Nobody said it was Benio. We all said it was Nigeria because we're even welcoming people from all over the world. Whenever we use our Naira note and we see Ajami written on it, we don't shout and say, oh, see Arabic. Some people shout, but it doesn't really change anything. The point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to what you want to do, the people now remember that, oh, you're trying to Urubanize the country. Meanwhile, we've had several sports outfits in the past. I'm looking at some. I don't want to put up the camera so we don't have issues with TikTok algorithm. But you see some of the ladies here. I mean, I'm sure you must have seen it on social media, right? Putting on bowler hats, you know, which of course is not Nigerian culture. Oh, it's not Yoruba culture. It's more from Niger Delta. We've also seen women put on, all kinds of fabrics and designs, especially the one Tomakwe in George. By the way, whenever you hear, I should say this, when you hear that people are wearing George, the George Tomakwe is actually George, the King of England. Is the material named after? They essentially named the material after. Yeah. I think what the name, the fabric, the clothes, everything about that dress is, or whatever, the combo is foreign. All right, and I don't know why people. I think I understand where it's coming from, to be honest, right? Like Dabi Moshe Da and Tobanero Eni Kulemo Yeni. If you don't have a history of like a clothing industry, right? Local, like your own indigenous clothing industry, you would want other people to be like you and walk naked, or to probably just wear things from abroad, which is why, in the 1960s, we began to import a lot of clothes. 50s into 60s, actually. By 63, there was There was something, I mean, there was a statement, an edict that was put out by a particular region in Nigeria stating that people should stop coming to the market wearing, I mean, not wearing clothes, 1963. And that was what led to the importation of second-hand clothing. And Awolowo warned at the time that this was going to affect the textile industry. And it did. Okay, so when you hear bend down select Okrika, there's a reason that place is called, that thing is called Okrika. It's linked to the point of disembarkation where they bring those goods, the four spaces. You can connect the dots. I don't want to go into that topic today, you know. But if you don't have stuff like that where you come from, doesn't mean you should be angry every time you hear that people are wearing Nigeria. If it's Yoruba, you just start throwing tantrums, all right? Because somehow, as Yoruba president, or somehow you see what you could have been, which you can never be, because this is not how you can evolve. This is just how you can throw tantrums. But everybody will be all right. Almost as you say, finish. I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's not even. I mean, the only group that has a problem with the fact that they're wearing Azeri are Igbos. Just to be clear, if somebody says, you say it, let me say it finish. The only group that has a problem with the fact that they're using Nigeria for have fun are Igbos. And they're all over social media. And what I say about people not wearing clothes, it was in Eastern region, 1963. The edict was put out by Michael Okpara, the premier of the region, 1963. And if we really want to be helping ourselves in this, you know, this country, we have to help each other. Where is that book? I think I have a snapshot. We should be telling ourselves the truth because that's why I like Adekunle Gold's song. Kẹlẹgbẹ́ mẹgbẹ́, kẹlẹgbẹ́ mẹgbẹ́ o. Ó yẹ kẹlẹgbẹ́ mẹgbẹ́ torí rather that where ó ti where ó ń bí èmi ní tèmi. Everybody should know their place so that everybody, you know. I'm going to read that thing to you so it doesn't look like I'm making it up because if I don't read it, this is why I don't like saying some things because I now have to read it. Or yes, people now say, ah, you're a bad person. You don't like some people. You hate them. You hate them. Masukun Kiribe Gbere. Mumbo, we'll look for it. It's not today's topic, but it's something to visit. All right, this is from the Tragedy of Victory by Gordon Labi Sama. Okay. Even in the eastern region of Nigeria, with Enugu as its capital, Dr. Michael Okpara, the premier of the region, put up an edict in 1963 declaring that anybody that came to Ogbete Market in Enugu naked would pay a fine. And that was how second-hand clothing, Okrika, Wake Up, was introduced into Nigeria. The leader of the Western region, Nigeria, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, warned the people in a presidential campaign later on that the introduction of second-hand clothing into Nigeria would... One second, please. 1 second. I don't like the screenshot is not clear. I will read this thing. All of us will learn together. Just give me a second. I'll find you the one that is. There's a word that's missing. I took a picture of it, but I didn't take it. I mean, it's not clear enough. Kelegbe, megbe. You can't be wearing clothes, kiniko, and you be any small thing that you buy put you be, you know, having a fit. No, it will be worth it. Read together. I didn't want to have to move all the books. I wish you could see how many books I had to move like this. But I would do anything for you. Ah! Busuye, busuye. All right. Let us do this. The Tragedy of Victory by Gordon Labi Sama. Because you see Yoruba people, young Yoruba people who don't understand this, they say, oh, it's true, they have a point, they don't have a point. You don't know anything. Let me read to you. Even in the eastern region of Nigeria, with Enugu as its capital, Dr. Michael Okpara, the premier of the region, put up an edict in 1963 declaring that anybody that came to Ogbete Market in Enugu naked would pay a fine, and that was how second-hand clothing called Okrika Wake Up was introduced into Nigeria. The leader of the western region of Nigeria, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, warned the people in a presidential campaign later on that the introduction of second-hand clothing into Nigeria would kill our textile industries. They hated him for that. Today, no textile mill is standing in all of Nigeria, while second-hand clothing business booms, and so is unemployment. You can't have a history like this and be coming against Yoruba people when they do anything that has to do with fashion. Like, what do you know? I love you, but we have to be telling ourselves the truth. One more thing I want to read before I go. This one was from the New York Times. Right? This was from July 4, 1960. That was Enugu. This one is Ebonyi. This is actually July 3. With Nigerian independence approaching, government officials are pleading with Africans to wear clothes. Abakaliki province officials said it will not be dignified for nature love. This is an insult for nature loving Nigerians to go naked. Which one is nature loving? Not wearing clothes is nature loving, have you? It should not be dignified for nature loving Nigerians to go naked in independence as they did under British colonialism. In other provinces, the people have donned clothes, but in Abakaliki, not even a fig leaf, much less a loincloth, is worn. Provincial Secretary J.W. Leach said Abakaliki residents must get clothes in 30 days. After August 1, any person found naked or scantily clothed will be prosecuted. The secretary said. That was 1960. The other one I read earlier was 1963. I have another document from 1859, but the document was published in 1866. It's the same story. Listen, may God bless everybody. But whenever you come around and be, you know, dunking on Yoruba people and saying things about clothes, we will talk. Because all this second acting gossip that's covered us. And I'm not saying only one ethnicity is responsible for the death of our textile industry, but they ought to contribute. You know, bend down. These days they call it thrift. It's not cool. You know, and I'm not. I mean, people are doing business with it and they're doing well, and it's okay. But here's the thing: see, when you sell clothes that people have used, you are the one who is importing and say they're making money. The entire value chain, everything from begin to the end is out of the country. It's not even the end that you are getting. You are like you are getting something out of it because you're making money. Because I don't want to also make it look as if I'm disparaging people who are into that business. But the point is that the factories, the manufacturers, the workers that could go in there, all those things are off. You just have a person who now takes what has been won. I mean, it's even bad enough to import clothes that are not even second hand. To now use one on what you are working. In other words, tailor can even get a job. Say if you bring fabric, tailor can still get some. There's nobody that can get anything from this one. Anyway, all of that to say that, may God bless every part of Nigeria, but people should be calm when they're talking about Yoruba things and saying, oh, fashion, want to argue with fashion, Yoruba people. Somebody put something out last week. I did not mean Darcy. Person said in Africa, that all over Africa, everybody used to wear clothes. Why not speak for your part of the world? Because at this point, we have to be speaking for our villages and cities. No, cities will be Yoruba. Sorry about that. Wherever you come from, Sha. Because what you discover is that we don't have the same stories. We don't have the same history. And that is not a problem. My reality is different from yours. If you have a story of walking naked until, by the way, it wasn't even the white people that brought the clothes. It was Ajayi Crowther. Ajayi Crowther got to River Niger Mission Onitsha in 1857. I said 1859 earlier. Sorry, I mixed it up. 1859 was when they published the first newspaper in Nigeria, Iwe Iroyin Yoruba Ati Awon Egba. That was in 1859. Iwe Iroyin Egba Ati Awon Yoruba, 1859. But 2 years prior, Ajayi Crowther arrived um, Onitsha. And then in 1866, he published a powerful book called A Charge Delivered on the Banks of the Niger River in West Africa. Quite nice book. If you want, you can, for it. Anyway, all of this to say that the whole idea of we have a problem with Nigeria, we have a problem with Nigeria is that you don't have it. So those who have it, you push against it. Meanwhile, thankfully, the first lady has been gracious enough to commit a substantial part, a substantial sum of money to the weaving of Akwete in Igbo land. She's dropping 2 billion naira for the project, which is something that's very, very good. All right. Um, I'm reading you the report here. This is what she said. All the notable sons and daughters of Igbo land should rise up to preserve this culture. On my part, I am donating 2 billion naira for the project. That was somebody may say, hey, so I mean, after all, you say they don't have. I'm not saying anybody doesn't have clothes. Too. I'm just saying people were naked. But at least they have Akwete. Well, maybe you should also understand the fact that Akwete itself is a copy of a particular fabric that Yoruba people were making. The Yoruba people, the Jebu subgroup, they call it Asholona. So we had Ofi, we had Olono, we had Sanya, we had Etu. We had all kinds of fabrics as Yoruba people. Okay, there's Etu, there's Sanya, there's Alari, there's Ofi, there's Olono. There are many types of clothes. Okay, fabric. As a matter of fact, some archaeologists doing work in Ife found cotton seeds dated to 10th century AD. Go and research. Go and, I don't like saying go and verify, but please do it. Okay, like check out these things. If I want to have a session on that, I'll probably just bring you the books and be reading it out to you. So it's been on for a long time. However, Akwete came by as a result of the Igbo interaction with the Ijaw people, who which came as a result of Ijaw people's interaction with Ijebu people. So Ijaw got by their heart. They have they have no problem acknowledging the fact that Tasholon and called it Ikaki. Igbos got Ikaki and then began to weave the patterns and called it Akwete. The Ghanaians got the same Asholon and decided to do their own stuff and called it Kente today. Because it got to them, Portuguese, the Portuguese would buy it here and then they will sell it them in Ghana. Also took it as far as Brazil. You know, I think it was that cost or something that I used to call it back in the day. Anytime I mention something, I have to be right because we're on video and it's being recorded. I want to make sure I'm saying the right word. Give me a second, please. I want to just get you the name, that's all. All right, just a second. Oh wow, this is nice. Sorry, I found something else. Um, okay, Mobo, I have it somewhere here. Just get the name and then we'll be out of here. I'll explain to you as I'm talking. Shah Ikaki go to the Igbos through the Ijaws. And when he got to them, they began to make the pattern. I found it. In Brazil, he got to Brazil and they began to call it Pano da Costa. I just said da Costa, so there's a word there's a word I was missing. Pano da Costa. That's what they called it in Brazil. Okay, got to Ghana, it became Kente. Got to Ijaw, they call it Ikaki. Ijaw got it to the Igbos, who call it who eventually now began to make Akwete. So, however you look at it, we are blessed to be a blessing. Take a listen to the president's wife.
To announce to all Nigerians. And the Igbos should take.
Sorry, I want to quickly say something. The Igbos are not Igbos. We get carried away by the spelling and we pronounce that word based on how we say it in our culture, and it's causing a problem. It's really issue. They are not Igbos. They don't call themselves Igbos. Igbos don't have any pronunciation with the word B. It's not that heavy for them. It's Igbo. They can write as GB, but the pronunciation is Igbo. if you are a Yoruba person, you should learn this thing because that's why they are saying that they're the Igbo people of Ife. We are not connected like that, though. The Igbo of Ife are Yoruba people. They're also called Ugbo, and they are in the larger of Ondo State today. They are not the people in Southeast. People in Southeast are Igbo, and I'm pronouncing it the way they pronounce it. I'm not trying to corrupt anything. It's Igbo, not Igbo. They don't have B heavy like that. There's ingressive, aggressive. Their own is not as heavy as the way we pronounce it. So just as every time I'll be saying this thing, and that's why I spell Igbo as IBO, because we have to differentiate. When their kings begin to change Yoruba history, not to put themselves in there, we have to adjust. May God bless Nigeria. Let's continue listening to the First Lady.
Equity to the nation. I tell her, I am here to announce to all Nigerians. And the Igbos should take equity to the nation. I tell her, you all wear tie and dye from Yoruba land. You wear ashoke. Why not us wearing equity? It's a beautiful fabric. And those are the things that they have to modernize. They will make Akwete into our Ipele and Geli. So it won't be the big wrapper. Akwete can be made into like bedspread. So what they could do with it, we can't really quantify. But for me, and for all the notable sons of Igbo land, it's not only Abia State, rise up to the occasion to preserve this. On my own, I told the governor, I'm donating 2 billion to the project. I don't know how you want to use it. The fund is easy for me to give to you. And I believe that that fund will be. Thank you for receiving me. You can see I came all prepared with rain boots. So I didn't come, it's not fancy. I came here to see what God laid in my spirit for so long. And I thank you for making it possible for me to be here. So I love the people of Abia. I want to thank you for receiving me so warmly. Thank you very much. And God bless Abia State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
God bless Abia State. God bless the Southeast. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless everybody. But all of us have to also know our boundaries because the disrespect is getting too much. I know, like I said last week, I'm saying it again. With all due respect, your people will not use Akwete to do any Ipele. No. Around Nigeria, problem one Nigeria, no near. Kẹtọ mọ̀ sí o máa ti pé ẹ̀ ń jí nǹkan wọn. Meanwhile, tẹ́yìn ní gan pọ̀ jẹ́ tí explore ẹ̀ tán. So, but may God bless every part of this country, and God bless the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I'm glad that they're also going to revive that stuff. It also helps if the Southeast is doing well, and the Southwest is doing well, and the South, every region is doing well, the Northeast, Northwest, North Central, everybody's doing well. Nigeria does well. So if anyhow we can help each other, we should help each other. And but we should not be disparaging what comes from other places because we don't have it where we come from. That isn't good. Before we move away from the Southeast, we're going to listen to somebody from the Southeast. His name is Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. He was on Channel TV recently, and they asked him a question about his region. He said something quite interesting, and I thought, by the way, we're going to be on this for a bit. Obi's interview. I call it a lackluster interview, and I'm going to explain that later. But take a listen to Obi describing how he got 80% of the Southeastern votes. Take a listen, please.
The Southeast is backing me, that's why I have 80% of the vote. Naming one or the other, the Southeast is backing me. of the vote. Naming one or the other.
All right. So he said the South is backing him, and that's how actually he had more than 80%. Maybe he was being um, modest, but he actually had way more than 80. He had about 87%. That's aggregate, but in some states he even had 93%. That's how much they are backing him, which is okay. But like I said earlier, this interview is lackluster. It lacks brilliance or vitality. It was just there. It was just But we shall listen to it. So let us begin. Why do we listen to this thing? Because there's a lot of lamba, and sometimes lamba that goes on responded to can become the truth. So lamba on lamba. Wow. Let us begin with this clip where he was asked about if he would release Nnamdi Kanu, after it becomes not that that will happen, but just in case it becomes, it won't even happen. But shall they ask him a question? Take a listen to this.
Once you get a proof that they did it, they're doing what is wrong. Simple. This is me.
Do you think Nnamdi Kanu's activities or in some of his actions were wrong?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
If you become president, would you do something different about Nnamdi Kanu's case? You said the man did not do anything.
Everybody.
He cannot be criminalized because
no.
he just spoke.
No. Remember what I said? They only made a fire now. They said he spoke. I won't do it. I will take them to court. I wouldn't even go outside to arrest anybody. If they're in any country, like they've done with the other man, I will complain to that country and say, these people are destabilizing what we're doing. We follow the law. If the court grants them bail, we will obey.
It doesn't matter whether they're Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba.
It doesn't matter where they're coming from, whether it's the war or anything. I will give them due process of the law.
Would you forgive Nnamdi Kanu?
If the law, if I take them to the court,
Would you grant him clemency?
If I follow the process, and that is possible, I will do that. Not just him. The law has to apply even to me. We must do things according to the rule of law. We cannot stay in a country where court grants people bail. We said no. Court does this. We said no. If court grants you, if court grants you bail, and they don't every Friday, you go home. If I feel you are, we cannot manage it, you can go to your house and we secure your house. There's other people who can hold you on house arrest, but we cannot put you in detention where you don't have access to your family.
Are you able to forgive Kenan?
We're going to come back to other things. That's what I came to conquer. We'll talk about something else. Anyway, so he said, was talking about Nnamdi Kanu, and now he's saying Nnamdi Kanu did something wrong and everything. I think we're getting closer and closer to the election because every single interview sounds different from the previous one. Maybe it's based on growth or based on need. In other words, you think you need to change some things, so you change some things. Why am I saying this? Because recently, Peter said songs that are absolutely different from what he wants us to believe now. And I want you to listen to a few of them just so you have an idea, how we got here. Let's begin with this one. Umbo. He was a guest on this guy's podcast, Rufai Oseni, and what he said was a little different from what he just now said. Give me a second, I'll play for you. Yes, this one. Please take a listen to this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is there anything objectively that we can say in a matter of approach or procedure Nnamdi Kanu did wrong?
Of course, yes. No, it's not me. It's not for me. What I'm saying is that in negotiation, in trying to
So can we
peace,
point out and that's why I say objectively speaking,
no,
what Nnamdi Kanu did wrong?
No,
If you admit that he has done something wrong,
listen,
what did he do wrong?
listen, let me tell you. I've listened to his statement at times, where he said maybe have somebody, kill somebody, do this and everything, right? I won't say it. I don't say things like that.
He was wrong in that.
Yeah, he has even said it against me. But I'm saying in building unity, that's why I said I will negotiate, not just Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho, all of them, they all use foul languages.
He had to bring Igbo on in there because without comparison, the conversations mean nothing. You have to find another person say, "Talo tun se nkan ti o da o jẹ mi for." Meanwhile, you can never compare Igbo to Nnamdi Kanu. When Igbo was still speaking, I was one of the people that was against the things he was saying. I was one of the people that were against how he was moving. Not everything. Some things he would do right, some things he wasn't doing right. I would be like, this is wrong. Tell me when they will see it, where they come from. But they'll find a way to say, somebody else is doing something like that. So it's not just him. We're also good. So that it doesn't look like as if they're the only ones. They can never have a conversation like this thing is bad, we'll fix it. No, this thing is bad, but there's another person with something bad somewhere there. Let's just find a way to aggregate nonsense. Take a list. Let's finish it and then we'll go to all the other things.
But in building unity, Mandela used foul languages.
Foul.
And everything. In building unity, it's time for us to overlook this and say, hey, come, we can't build unity like this. Because of what?
I'll say one more time. Please, when somebody from the Southeast uses the word unity, try and ask the question, what does it mean? Ask for definitions. They use the word unity as though it's going out of fashion. It doesn't mean the same thing it means to you. 1 second. What it to you is not what it means to them. Unity. Have you bred the unity on Rufai was saying this podcast. The same person will take a listen to this one. He was in Washington recently. This is what he said there.
And I want you to do something. I said repeatedly that there's no reason for giving money.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no reason whatsoever that you cannot arrest somebody because he was speaking on radio, calling people names. Doesn't make sense. Everybody can tell you anything. I'm a politician, people call me some names.
That was the person I want to point your president. Let me pause to answer the person in the comment section. He says Sunday Igboho committed more crime than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So you expect him to list the crimes. The next thing the clown said is police discovered ammunition in his house. More crime than Nnamdi Kanu. Police discovered ammunition in his house. Guess what? Do I like the fact that he has ammunition? He had ammunition at the time? No. Because he wasn't licensed to have those things. You can deal with that. I don't have to talk. I don't have to compare him with whatever you have in your family house in order to make the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's number one. Number two, what is the criminal thing that you said Igboho committed? What's the criminal act? State it, apart from the fact that they found guns in his house. Meanwhile, your own clown, since you want to bring it up, did not just carry guns in his house. It was on video asking for money to buy guns and then arming a group of people, creating a militia to kill your people. The person in the comment section, they called it ESN. You know what? If you like it, what's my business? The point is, even Sonic Go with that one was still prosecuted in Benin Republic. Nigerian government sent lawyers to prosecute this same person in Benin Republic. I mean, is it Benin Republic they call it? And he was there. He was arrested in Benin Republic. Was there. He served that time, and eventually He moved to Germany. So the idea that Sunday Igboho was just chilling in Benin Republic, he was going to court. Nigerian lawyers were going to Benin Republic representing Nigeria in that matter. But you wouldn't know because all you want to do is be victims in life. May that be your... I mean, someone said, well, your brain is leaking, no? Stop using Jesus is coming because you don't know Jesus. You know what? I don't even want to call it. You cannot be Jesus is coming soon. You are not too smart. Go to Sokoto prison. Go and tell them this are releasing Nnamdi Kanu. Shalom God, Shalom God. Means that you are not very smart. Go to Sokoto prison. Go and release Nnamdi Kanu. Shay, you are not different from Peter Obi. Now the same thing all of you to talk. I'll play you something else from him.
Do you agree with the manner in which the federal government handled the case of the agitations in Abia State with the IPOP?
Well, you know, like I said, the only thing I disagree with is naming them terrorists.
You don't think they are?
No, they're not.
Their prescription is...
Definitely. No, those who took this film maybe had information I don't have. You know, I did, of course, the governors of the Southeast, that are the elected leaders of the place. The elected leaders of the place, I didn't know it. And I can tell you they're not terrorists. Their people are passing on the road and everything every day. In fact, I can tell you they've enough and they're stable. Because I meet them and I live with them. And I usually see people gathering and all that. And not one day did I feel a sense of threat or molestation or anything from them, even when they gather. You know? For me.
So that's Peter Obi saying that they are not terrorists and they are his brothers. They see each other, probably even share bottles. Anyway, they are friends. He didn't mention bottle though. I just put that there. They are brothers. They see each other. You shouldn't call them um, terrorists. That's the person that wants to lead Nigeria. When Sunday Igboho was out there, you know, I mean, eventually he came back. When he came back, he was apologizing to everybody. When he was saying things, people spoke up. People spoke up and said, no, there's a limit to all this thing. Just because you are doing something in a particular place to favor your people does not mean you have the right to begin to move as if you brought all of us here. We spoke up respectfully. And some people disrespectfully, but I'm not disrespectful, so you get the point. Anyway, that happened. And whatever he did afterwards, it was in Benin Republic, was there for a long time. Eventually went to Germany, eventually returned to Nigeria. What they did to him in Benin Republic, let them do it to your people in Sokoto, and God be praised. Meanwhile, what Peter B is lambering us with the fact that they are not terrorists, because again, the idea basically is to protect their criminals and then highlight whatever is wrong with your own space, which was what Zeke did in 1930s, in the 1930s, 1940s with West African pilots. It's the same spirit, right? It's the same spirit. Anyway, I was going to tell you another news item that has to do with what some people did in West, in Yoruba land again, with Mexican cartel, but that's another topic entirely. Still on Peter Obi, he decides to tell us about how he planned to unite Nigeria. Take a listen.
So I was there before I left.
Oh, yeah, so just, I mean, he was exiting, your tenure coincided at some point. You were in office at some point when he also was in office. And he said, people should not look in your direction because you will divide Nigeria, that you do not have what it takes to unite Nigeria. How do you react to such a statement?
So that's directly opposite of what I would do. I will unite people. And I know what it takes to unite Nigeria.
And what will that be?
Sharing. Right?
Alimudu Sherry.
I'm not sure. If you look at my record, what he said is opposite. And the onset, while he was still governor, I was here at the onset of this Boko Haram issue. own brother was killed. So I traveled to Borno State to condole him. When these people don't want to go there, I went to Borno State. It's on record. So they've been flooding in Borno State. I went there, contributed about 50 million naira, visited the governor, visited the show of Borno, I visited the IDP camp in Borno. I've been to most troubled part of the north, be it Katsina, Kebbi. I've been to Plateau up to 4 times, visiting the various affected communities on the screen and everything, spend time in IDP camp, help even communities that are affected to rebuild their schools for their children, went to the IDP camps, supported them. I've done that in Benue. I've spent Christmas, New Year in IDP camps. Sarah built boreholes in Gombe, in Kaduna, in every part of the north. When the University of Sokoto said, the University of Sokoto Agricultural Faculty said, all they need is borehole for their farm, I did it. And I visited schools in Sokoto, even when Kamara was governor. I can go on. I've done the same thing in the southwest, I've been to schools, in Kogi, schools of nursing, I visited hospitals all over Nigeria. So there's no politician
How do
who have been able to travel places I've been by road, from Kafanchan to Katsina to Budugri to everywhere. I've traveled all over the place.
so because you have traveled by road to every part of Nigeria means that you have the capacity and the know-how to unite Nigeria. Number one, I don't think Nigeria needs your uniting, to be honest, because it means something totally different. At this point, Nigeria should even delineate further. In other words, create structures that actually allow people to do what they want to do in their regions while still working together at the center. That's what we should be doing. Not all this shouting, we want to unite. Unite for what? Meanwhile, he has traveled everywhere by road. Therefore, he has gone to this person when their brother died. He went to build water borehole for people. Then he went to help people in School of Nursing in Kogi State. Thank you so much for the gift, Tidan. Thanks a lot. Went to give people gift here. Went to give people gift there. Therefore, it can unite Nigeria. I rather have Rochas Okorocha, even though I know people still call him Okoro Osa, but I mean, I think that would be a better deal. Anyway, we have a few more clips to listen to from Bitobi before we move on to the final stuff that will make us read some books. This one, you don't have to read anything. Lacklustre. So it is what it is. Here he was asked about his educational what he achieved in terms of education in Anambra State. Take a listen.
During your time as governor in Anambra State, can you clarify it once and for all? Mr. Peter, did you build any school? If not, why so?
So I built more than schools.
Which are the schools that you built?
Okay, let me even start from tertiary institution. I built, if you go to today, Odumegwu Ojukwu University, which is our state university, there's a place called Iguaria campus. So I cut the grass. What I mean, it was a bush. I leveled the bush. If you go there from faculty of.
Sorry, actually, there's a longer version. Just to be fair, there's a longer version of that clip because people. It's not like he said they cut grass. He said something else. Let me see if I can start from there. Just to be fair.
See, and I will be at the forefront.
No, it's not this one, Jerry. Oh, this driving. Where was talking about the okay, this one. Let me just fast forward a bit.
I leveled the bush. You go there
in this country, in Oka, the fastest, the Medical and Dental Council closed down our faculty as I was assuming office and said, we cannot continue College of Medicine because they have no teaching us.
Did you notice that the question they really asked him, did you build any schools? And he now said, let's leave primary as a question, let's go to university. What he did is that he built faculties in existing institutions. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that was not really the question. So you have a school, a university which already exists, then you build, faculties that other people can, that's okay. The question really was if he built schools. And he had answered this question, he had answered this question before, and he said he didn't build any schools. He said it. To his credit, though, he said he rehabilitated some schools. He should have just continued telling the truth rather than saying, let us start from university. So you expect that you hear that he built a university. He did not build any university. He built and by the way, building faculty is also good. But that's not the answer to the question that he was asked. But then he said he cut grass too. So I think that also helps. Just a few more things before we move on to other, real serious matters, because this one is just, like I said, we don't know what to talk. And in case a Yoruba person is also here, by the way, it's for all Nigerians, but if you're Yoruba particularly, you should not be supporting this guy. But if you're Nigerian, sincerely, you should think about it now. Think about it. I'll find you something very quickly. Here, he was asked what he would do differently in terms of security. 1 second, please. We have an issue on TikTok here. If you're on TikTok, please power tap. Thank you very much for your support. Okay. All right. In fact, before we go to security, let me play something about electricity. Remember, he once said that he was going to generate 10,000 megawatts, which of course is a joke because we already generate more than 10,000 megawatts in Nigeria today. Our real problem is not generation, it's transmission. I think I need to change the audio source. I know where we do. We will continue from there. Just a second. 1 second, please. Everyone, hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? All right, so let's get into this. So here, I was saying about electricity that it would give us 10,000 megawatts in 4 years. And I said that doesn't make sense because we already have more than 10,000 megawatts in terms of generation. Our real issue is transmission. And then, of course, he said something about transmission as well. But it looks like he's saying something totally different in the interview he had with Shoki Baloy. So this is the one where he talked about 10,000 megawatts, where he was talking to Rufai was saying, take a listen, please.
And I've said, and I repeat, that...
Oh, you got that bill once. I can support sign. There are sign gun. I was on man do. Even 50 big back way. I think I'm a person you saying. I shall just go by.
And I've said, and I repeat, that in 4 years, we will generate, transmit, and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts of electricity.
How are you going to do?
No, I'm not going to tell you how. It is not. And
that's a major problem that this guy has. You just drop Lambert. Tell us how you do it. Say I will not tell you. By the way, Rufai had an issue. I mean, I think it was on their show today. Was talking about how the man will just be telling you that he will do something. They'll say, how will you do it? You say, don't tell. I won't tell you how. Take a listen to this one. No, 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 it's not this one. I'll play it for you later. Where Rufai was talking about, the interview, but maybe when we're done with this interview, Consider says, who are his advisors? He talked about the madman at Opiweka. He said it himself. And if you have not heard it before, I'll look for the video and play it for you, so it doesn't look as if I'm lying. I don't lie. All right. So, anyway, I think he has now discovered that he will not be able to fix that thing in 4 years. So he told us that we may have 10,000 megawatts, but maybe not full 24-hour electricity. But we don't have time to cover that, so let's just move very quickly here. He talked about how he would deal with insecurity in Nigeria. Take a listen.
What would you do differently if you were president?
I've said it several times. Sharon, I will be far more committed in dealing with that issue. And I will be at the forefront. I will be the driver. Nobody is not there to. I will visit there, I will go there, I will deal with it. Everybody will see. He can't do it there, not because he doesn't have the capacity.
How would you fix insecurity? Precisely, what exactly? Give us 3 things you would do to ensure that insecurity is dealt with.
That's I will not disclose it in the open, but I'll be far more committed. We will ensure that our security architecture is properly linked, staff, supported, and not only the one that is supported, and will ensure that we work with all our partners, and we will do it with much more commitment.
So you get foreign help.
Whatever is possible to secure the country, we will do.
What would you say is from your...
How will you do it? How? One of his own henchmen, I think he is in the media, now is asking the questions I think he should have been asking before jumping on the obedient bandwagon. This is Rafael Sedin talking about the same thing. Take a listen, please.
And that's what I didn't see from the interview yesterday. I didn't see how. See, we can't run a country on vibes. And I must have to say that again. By now, if elections are in what? In January. We're in August. At first, we have not seen manifesto, 6 months to go. Secondly, we are not seeing proper articulation of how you will do it. In fact, I think all candidates should stop telling us, I will do this. They should start telling us how. We should see an idea. It's the idea that we want to debate the workability of the idea. And that I didn't see. Please, with fixing insecurity, people should stop telling us this, I don't want to share my operational details. Nobody is saying you should share your operational details. Because as a candidate, you can't have operational details. Operational details are specific to operations. Hence the name operational details. Nobody is saying you should share that. What we are saying is overarching details, methodology, how you are going to do it. That's just it. Methodology, even understanding. I mean, you can talk in the line of what you're even going to do to doctrine, military doctrine. What do you want to do? What kind of military do you want? Do you want an offensive fighting force? Do you want a modern aid military? What kind of military spending are you going to do? From the look of things, where do you think you can slant your firepower? Do you want to put in drones? Do you want to put in fighter jets and the likes? What kind of military do you want? What kind of equipment do you want for your military? Do you want to increase your naval firepower? Do you want to increase your intelligence firepower? Do you want to set up a new cyber security articulated vehicle in your military where you have a cybercom that can equally be used for intelligence gathering and tracking what is going on? What kind of military do you want? Do you want an agile military? Do you want a very nimble military? I mean, these are things as regards technicality and methodology. These are the things I want to hear from our candidates. Power sector, what would you do as regards them? About creating thousands of megawatts. Major problem in the power sector is transmission. If we have a 13,000 installed capacity, but why are we not seeing more than 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts? Capacity for transmission. Are you going to put investment there? Are you going to raise the equity for the investment? I mean, those are paramount questions.
I mean, that was Rafael Seni, and to be fair, I think this time he's saying something. I mean, we all know that a broken clock is right twice a day. So even if I don't agree with everything he says, I mean, when he does say something that I agree with, I like to highlight it. But while, of course, we don't know how this is going to happen, Showore has a point to prove. He put this out 3 days ago. It says, so Showore 2027 will appoint... I think you should hear him say it. Hear him say it. Because oríṣiríṣi nǹkan la kàn ṣáà wọ́n ní lọ́jọ́ kú erin oríṣiríṣi ọ̀rẹ́ ló máa yọjú. Take a listen to Showore.
Let's take it this way. There are short-term measures that must be taken regarding security. And I've mentioned that to get these guys out of wherever they're hiding, make sure that we pursue and liquidate them. We have to have equipment, we have to use technology. Officers who are not staying in Abuja fighting over land, but actually fighting wars. Generals who can actually strategize and do what is right. Have a police force that can carry out internal security of the country, and I know escorting people or arresting people for insulting people on Facebook, and I have said it, and I'll repeat it here again, to the utter surprise of everybody, that if I become Nigeria's president tomorrow, my minister of defense will be a drone. That's how much I believe in technology.
I like that.
Yes.
Right.
And that, that drone will fly everywhere.
Or maybe you should make artificial intelligence.
That's part of it.
Your Minister of Defense.
Yes. I'm just going to have, a control center where people sit down and just, track terrorists and liquidate them. But ultimately, you must create a society where people can find jobs, go to school,
true,
yes, and not be willing to.
See, this country, be like that, for just doing TV show. Showore 2027 will appoint artificial intelligence as Minister of Finance and a drone as Minister of Defense. The AI will eliminate human manipulation, waste, and corruption in public finance by making data-driven, transparent decisions. The drone will redefine national security with modern surveillance, rapid response, precision, and accountability. The future of governance is technology, not patronage. Oríṣiríṣi ìdájọ́ àárín Nàìjíríà yìí. That's the same show. Let's say Igbo, he needs 500,000 naira as minimum wage in Nigeria. The same person will say Igbo give us Igbo marijuana as export. But you know the point, as well as it is, I think that this even knows what he's saying. Even though what he's saying, at least he's even telling you what he would do. Peter was just telling you that I will, how will you do it? Doesn't know how. At least this one is telling you how he will do what he wants to do. Even though you know that the how will not work. Well, at least he's saying it. John will be the Minister of Defense. I'm going to watch sci-fi movies. Sure. Should you deploy drones? Yes. Should you use AI? Yes. Should they become your minister? How now? How? It is well. This Nigeria is a blessed country. It's a blessed country. I think I want to leave Peter be alone because, like I said, the interview is not something really. I just wanted to highlight some inconsistencies and his inability to actually explain how he plans to achieve these things. Anybody can say anything, but if you're going to lead the people, you have to be able to not just pontificate. You have to be able to actually explain. this is what we want to do, this is what we're going to do it. And like I always say, many things that Peter Obi does is as though he's repeating, is acting out Zeke's script. Azikiwe, 1951 election. Azikiwe did not give a list of people that will be running the candidate, and he had no manifesto. And guess what? He criticized Awo for having a manifesto. He said there's only for manifesto until after election. Me, Boreri. There's a book you should read. In fact, read The Political Philosophy of Chief Obafemi by Olaiwola Abegunrin. You see it in there. So why do you need manifesto? He's using manifesto to cajole people to vote for him. What is he supposed to do before? You're not going to tell people why they should vote for you until after they voted for you. And you're supposed to be a politician. Ask Peter Obi something, I'll tell you that he doesn't want to say it. He has said it, at least these videos you listen to, you heard it twice. It's not for me to tell you how I'm going to do it. So how am I going to believe you? Anyway, that's Peter Obi. Now let's go to the final lap. I know, let me see. 1 second. I'll see if somebody, is it Bumblebee? Oh, it's Mr. Folarich. Okay. Let's take a short break. Maybe 2 people, and then we'll go to the final stuff. And I'll bring more people if there's still time. I want us to quickly discuss Olusegun Obasanjo, Atiku, and Olusegun Osoba, and find a way to. We have a lot to read, so maybe just 2 people, and then we'll go on with that. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Someone said, "Trust me, bro." What? Say what's up? Just say, "I trust me." Let's have. I don't know. Can only take 2 for now. I don't even know who came first. All right. Good evening, Mr. Fola.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Ogao. So, at the president Nigeria say OTD vibes.
At inshallah. His vibes and inshallah. Anybody can be president. Just put a drone out there.
Very big body drone. Does he listen to himself?
At least he's telling you what he wants to do and how he will do it. And tell some conquer.
Any physical, any philosophy now. Number one, the only way he became a governor was because Ojukwu raised his hand. He didn't win his own primaries in Abga. They put somebody, they installed him, they imposed him on the people. And when he became governor, Prof, I think I've mentioned it to you. I lived in Asaba for about 3 years, and I went to school in, I tried to do a master's degree in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, which they call Unizik. And at the time, there was a road from Onitsha to Oka. Onitsha is the capital, is the business capital, and Oka was the political capital. It was horrible, sir. Till. And then he was in cahoots with the government. In fact, we had to go and pass Inulu. And we are mass of one pay. And one on one mass of one pay. I want not see Ngigeshi. Ni bobo in sorrow. Long cab. And I'm now like, he had completely no idea. And what pains me the most is that these guys that interview him, I'm so displeased with Seun Okinbaloye, because Seun would have guns blazing on any other person. Seun would have said something like, "Oh, you remember? You said." He would keep hampering on you like, yeah. He would annoy you to say the wrong thing. But this person is saying, I had Muslims in my cabinet. Who are you fooling? You had Muslims from Anambra State, Catholic Muslims from Anambra State on your cabinet, and you were sending them to Mecca. What does that have? Does that have anything to do with governance, even though it were true? And Sheung heard that, and Oko, he just did as if nothing had happened. It's annoying. Yes, you might not like the person there now, but at least if you want to, you come up with a manifesto. You come up with something you have to say, something that is at least positive, that the people that you want to bring hope to can cling on to. Not that you just say, I want to do this thing just because I can do it, or I will do it. I'm like, and these are the people to offer content. See, in Cotton do me Jew, I wish Asiwaju would have a debate with these people, because Asiwaju is miles ahead of in brilliance. Asiwaju might not be the most articulate speaker, but Asiwaju would be able to defend his own, and he will be able to hold his own, and he will be able to give reasons. I remember the sit down they had with him before the 2023 elections, that they had with three of them separately. And Asiwaju would say 2 or 3 things, and he would say, I don't want them to spy from me. But at least it's giving you the idea of what he was going to do. I remember the first question they asked him, what will you do? He said, I would hit the ground running. Day one, he hit the ground running. No fuel subsidy. Go figure. He did exactly, when everybody was saying, you supported Asiwaju, I said, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And none of these candidates, all these cowards that call themselves candidates, all of them said they were going to remove fuel subsidy. They are now recanting on what they said. And the thing that is annoying me is that people like Sheung, that they will badger, Sheung will badger Jimo Ibrahim, Sheung will badger Festus Keyamo. They will badger them with questions and questions, and they all go soft on him. So, and if there's anybody listening here, if you are a Yoruba bot, I just want you to know that this is an agenda by the media to play one person better than the other. Because if everybody is soft on him, I wish Babajide Otitoju, I know Babajide Otitoju is soft-spoken. I wish he interviews, no, he's soft-spoken if he's interviewing people. Have you seen Prof. Tebari Tiwoba interviewing
You will finish Peter Obini.
No, Mr.
Just by asking
Otitoju
questions, not by being, combative or anything. He asks relevant questions. Peter Obini will cope.
Yes. You understand? Even Nifemi Oguntuyi he will do a better job than what Sheung did. And I'm like, is this Sheung? When Sheung was grilling Babachir Lawal, if you see him with Daniel Boala, and that was why I like the last interview went with Daniel Boala. Boala said, I'm not going to answer that question. You didn't call me here to answer that question. You called me here for a letter. Why are you asking me these questions? You are asking me to recount the things I said 3 years ago. Every man has the right to change his mind. So what the heck are you saying? And the thing is that these people are just blinded. And Prof. Ejoema Binu, to round off, he waited the philosophy of Kini Showa Lori Redomisa.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay,
so Oboya Leri, it's been out of print for a while, so I'll reach out to some of the publishers.
Prof, Itori Wemeji ni mo fẹ́ get ikon Iwe Shagari
It's out of print.
That one too is out of print, so there's no other way we can get it, because mo fẹ́ underline parts and I want to show it to these people, because the way they said, then there is one unnecessary, one man came online, because I couldn't join you online last week, and he said something. I know this one is out of topic. I'm sorry, and I'm taking time. He said something like, Fajuyi knew about the coup. I'm like, who the heck are these people? And they just lie blatantly. And why I used to, in nǹkan tí mo máa fi ń takò wọ́n ní pé gbogbo nǹkan tí bàbá sọ, ó sọ lójú ayé àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́niwọ̀n tó gbé bàbá lọ sí court for defamation. Ìgbà yẹn dẹ̀kẹ̀rí court case pọ̀ lẹ̀. So you just come, the man has died, he's resting in peace. He died with a good name, with honor, and you just came and you're saying trash. And you are giving these uneducated miscreants an avenue to denigrate a man's grave for his good deed. Come on. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Please, Laolo and Tayo, you said you got Shagari's book on Amazon. Did you get it on Kindle, or was it delivered to you, the hard copy? Please let me know. because it's not available. I've searched everywhere. In fact, the day I bought my own, I was told, so we didn't have it in Rodomi book, so I had to go to like a bigger space. I was told that they didn't have the book, and I went to look for another book, and then I found this copy just lying somewhere. It's old. So I just bought it like that. Normally I'm very finicky, but on that particular occasion, I just bought it the way it is. So you say you got hard copy. Okay, maybe I'll reach out to the publishers if they have copies. But I know this is Amazon to print. Amazon has printed my book to deliver in different parts of the world before. So I would say I'll upload it to be printed as hard copy and delivered to the customer. Right? You can do that. Or you can do the one you just mentioned right now. So most likely, if you want to get that book, second-hand Lomaje, go see hard copy. And the problem is sometimes you even find those
Yeah, mine.
reprints. But if I'm able to reach out to them, I will let you know. So Long Tail says sold by someone in the UK. Yeah. There's one I'm also looking for. I'm looking for two actually. So I have portions of the book, but I'm looking for the books. The portions of the two books, but I'm looking for the books. So in case you have, let me just announce. People, Politics, and Politicians by Bolaige, and Tragedy Without Heroes by Njoku. That one I need for somebody else. Someone actually needs it. Tragedy Without Heroes, I need for someone. But People, Politics, and Politicians, 1940 to 1979 by Uncle Bolaige. That book, I need that book. But if you have either of the two, someone reached out to me that they needed Tragedy Without Heroes, but I need Bolaige. I need Bolaige's book. I need the Cardinal Boy. That's his autobiography. But
I got that Kanduna boy online. Though. She online.
Please let me know how. I will appreciate it.
Mora, I bought it. Okay, no, Ibadan ni mo ti rà. At
bookshop,
booksellers.
Booksellers.
Booksellers, yeah.
I'll send someone. Jericho, Magazine Road. I was born and bred in Ibadan. So anyway,
Jericho
so,
near me, but that's the only place I know. I actually used to go there just to buy books. Actually.
Okay, I will maybe reach out to someone to help me check. Prof, you want to send me the book for $10,000? Prof, I need that book. I remember once. Let me tell you one story. Story. One day, we're trying to get the book, myself, Prof, and our sister. Now, so we find book. The book was it 65,000? I mean, was it $6,500 or one book? Thankfully, we eventually found the cheaper. But books can be expensive. $100,000 books. Like how? One book? No, not this one. There's a particular book that myself and Prof were looking for. We eventually found the book. So how did I get the book? We had to go to the publisher, right? Because the one we found at the time, I think one was in Canada, the other one was in the US, and the one was in the UK, and they were very expensive. But the truth of the matter is that the content of that book is worth. I don't know if it's worth that much, but it's worth a lot. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Fola, for that submission. I was trying to use that to take a break before we come to Obasanjo and Atiku. And if we don't do Obasanjo and Atiku today, we'll do it tomorrow. We might do it tomorrow. Because I want us to read this book, My Watch. This should be volume 2. This book by Baba Obasanjo. And then this one, Battle Lies by Olusegun Osoba. I think this book should be on Reading Books. But if you're not there, just reach out. We'll find a way to upload them. So we'll read some of these pages. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow because time's too long. And we'll then read Atiku's letter to Obasanjo and Obasanjo's letter to Atiku and Olusegun Osoba's article and Obasanjo's response, his own article as well to Olusegun Osoba. So we'll get into all of those things. Lord Luther says, I won't part with it for my weight in gold. Are you talking about the book by Shagari. It's actually a very good book. There are gaps that I noticed studying Nigerian history that I found the plug in Shagari's book. I found the plug in Beckon to Serve. By the way, Shagari's book, and Solatara, in case you're interested, I don't know how you get it, but the book is titled Beckon to Serve. I was able to plug the holes. The beautiful thing, though, is that I like to find more than one way to plug a hole when it comes to history. So it doesn't become, it's just this person speaking against that person. But it then helps you to connect with another book and another book and another book. Like, the old Obasanjo and these people tomorrow. All right. So let's have Matuition. Matuition, good evening.
Hey, hello to you. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Sir. Very well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. It's rather a tragedy when those that want to take over from President Tinubu are sounding the way they are sounding. President Tinubu as governor has a very strong antecedent, and over time has backed him up by the result in Lagos today. So you cannot argue, even if you just say, as a governor, what did you achieve? You can point to so many things, including what we now call the free trade zone in Lekki or the Eco-Atlantic City, and so on and so forth. And now you are now sounding like this. And now as president, President Tinubu has accelerated what he did in Lagos on a national scale and more. So they cannot compete with what he did as a Lagos governor. How can they then compete with what he's doing now as president of the Federal Republic? They have no leg to stand on, and it's so sad. These are younger men. These are younger men who are supposed to be telling us what they will do better. Number one, acknowledge what President Tinubu has done well, and then highlight what he can do better and how they will improve it should they be given the opportunity. And a good example is what Wike is doing in FCT. Since the founding of the FCT, we have never had a minister that is performed in one administration, actually less than a first term of the administration, performing the miracle, signs and wonders that the FCT minister is doing. You may not like his style, you may not like his forcefulness and bullishness and lack of refinement, but guess what? He gets the job done. He puts everybody on their toes. He puts everybody on their feet, and he listens. Is it any wonder that Port Harcourt is the way it is, second to Lagos? It's not it's not a surprise. The man delivers. So these guys who are talking, they cannot even rival what Wike is doing in the FCT. So if you want to talk about somebody to take over from President Tinubu today as president, I will vote for Wike. Charisma, he has it. Vision, he has it. Drive, he has it. And he's very, very funny. And he knows how to get the job done. So this guy, unfortunately, President Tinubu will be re-elected in 2031. I think they should scrap this nonsense of north south. They should change the formula.
It's not a Nigerian constitutional thing.
I know. I know. I agree. They need to pack it, because we are at a place now where we don't have time for nonsense. We have a growing population. Nigeria has given birth to the equivalent of 8 to 10 million babies every year. 8 to 10 million babies every year is the population of Netherlands. We don't have time. We don't need leaders who don't know what they're doing. We want leaders across the entire 36 states and FCT to be on their toe, moving at the speed of light. That's what we need now. I would rather vote for Wike for 2031 to fast forward the agenda of Mr. President, and he will do it because he has shown us what he can do with FCT. What has, God forbid his name, Mr. Showore. I can't imagine Showore can make that statement that his defense minister is going to be a drone. Oh, forget that one. Mr. Obi is going nowhere. He should just go back to the village and drink palm wine or go and do his mechanic business or car business that he's doing. He should just forget it. He's going nowhere. Finally, over last week, they did a celebration of 80-year remembrance of Sir Herbert Macaulay. I don't know whether you saw that clip. It's very heartwarming. It's very good. I think some of our political leaders and elite, we need to be resurrecting our heroes, celebrate their memories, because our younger children have forgotten who our heroes are. From the man that delivered us from the invasion of the Fulanis, Balogun Oderinlo. You said you're going to do that. You said you're going to do a series on Balogun Oderinlo. You still haven't done it.
We're supposed to have a reading. We tried. Let's see. Maybe
Yeah,
sometime.
we need to have a series of sessions on this platform about our heroes, because honestly, even with the older ones, we don't know them or we've forgotten. How bossy our. So Professor Ejo, we need to carve out a window out of this timetable to have a regular session on our heroes so that we can be on this platform and they can go into AI and all of those things. Because what they did about Herbert Macaulay, the guy said that he went to UI. He went to Unilag, one of the grandchildren of great grandchildren of Herbert Macaulay. And somebody said to him, "What is your name?" He gave him his name. He said, "Where did you get the colonialist name from?" True story. So the guy said, instead of getting offended, he said, "You know what? I don't blame them. They were not taught history." He turned that insult into something positive. And last week, we had the commemoration, 80-year remembrance of Herbert Macaulay, loading all his achievements. So we need a session, sir, regularly on our heroes, from Balogun Oderinlo, how he delivered Yoruba land, all his generals, and so on and so forth, and up till today. That will help us connect back to our past, see how great we are, and how we can use those lessons today. Papa Awolowo did a lot of it. Bola Ige did a lot of it. President Tinubu, the same thing, is doing exactly the same thing. So that we can help our children, our grandchildren in Yoruba land first, and all over Nigeria as well. I rest my submission for now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Miss. No, your name is a nickname. So, Masturation, thank you very much for that submission. So, I saw about Macaulay thing. The reason I didn't speak on it was because around that time, somebody shared a material about Prof. Mobetiri Way Saro nationalism. It was a paper that was written in a journal. So, I found the article from that journal about Saro nationalism. And trying so in my mind, then I had to go and get another book. It's like Black Oyinbo Man, something about Herbert Macaulay, Black Oyinbo Alawo Dudu. Black Herbert Macaulay Oyinbo Alawo Dudu, a true indigenous of Ibadan. There's a book like that, which I have on the shelf. So I want to read both books and finish both. All right, I will share it with you. I want to finish both before I have that session on about Macaulay, so we don't go off of what we thought we know, because sometimes history can be very tricky. So once we're done, I will do that. Also, probably saying here that we should do a series on Kirichi War. I think let's try and finish August. I think we'll be able to get July. We should be able to get into some of those things in August. And Balogun Oderinlo is just a book reading. I should remove the word just. It's going to be a book reading. So we're going to read a book by Aburi Shade on Balogun Oderinlo, and I think that also help us to appreciate the man, more. So thank you very much for bringing that up, Maturation, and also Prof in the comment section. Let's have Jakesman now. Good evening, Jakesman. By the way, sorry, before Jakesman goes, someone said in the comment section earlier that they found Beacon to Self. So I also went to check. You can get a copy. Is 198 pounds, 29 pence. Paperback is from 803 pounds. So let me just look for the Naira version. So I think that's a bit easier. Again, the reason, of course, is because, and by the way, these books I'm talking about, they are used though. 361,107 naira 82 kobo. That's for Becon to Serve, the hardcover. Then paperback is from 1,463,010 naira 67 kobo. So that's almost 1,000. I mean, if you buy it in pounds, it's 834 thereabouts. So it's almost 1,000 pounds. The book is rare. I mean, I still thank God that I found that used. It was dirty, but I just had to buy it like that. But if we find, or if we're able to get a hold of it, we'll let you. I'm very careful with sharing books. What I have is hard copy, but even if I have a soft copy, I'm very careful, talking about it because we're online, we're all over the place. We don't want people to start saying, "Oh, copyright, copyright," you know. But we will see what we can do. But please check out Redomi Books on Telegram. It's a online bookshop. You find books by different authors. You find it just about every hour book. I mean, the ones that are in print, you find them on that platform, and people are buying. And build your library. Okay, some of the things I read there. One of the things about it is that it's good to listen to me read those things, especially if you're busy and all that. But sometimes you might want to read it on your own and maybe even go beyond the chapter we've read. You want to read other chapters, so it's better if you can get the book. Somebody says, "Who are the publishers?" I'll find you the. Oh boy, the book is down there. The thing though is, there's some books we're trying to get, like the Bolage book I mentioned earlier. Some publishers are not even working at the moment. Some things happened I don't want to get into, so they're not even, functioning or operating. I want to find the publisher of this particular book so that we can answer that question. So let me find you the publisher. I knew. I knew. I was just like, I must be sure. I was sure. I am sure now. It's Heinemann. Heinemann has been under lock and key for a long time. The headquarters is in Ibadan. That road, see, Mr. Fola Sola Jericho, that's where Heinemann is as well. It's been under lock and key for a bit. I think they had some court cases. And the book was published in 2001. So this is what we're going to do. From time to time, we read from it. So that way we are all, knowing what's up. But tomorrow, I promise, we should deal with this Olusegun Obasanjo and Olusegun Osoba thing, reading these books. Okay? I think they will help us. This one is a 3-volume work. If there's anything I like about Obasanjo, is the fact that he never stops documenting. There's a book by, what was this man's name? I think I don't want to make a mistake, so it's inside in the library. It's a compilation of letters that Obasanjo had written. So in there, I found letters I exchanged with Papa Awolowo, when things were good, when things were not so good. The letter I wrote to everybody. I mean, Obasanjo wrote people. And so a gentleman is a journalist, right? And I'm sorry I can't remember his name. I'll find the name before. You know what? Let me find the name now. Let me look for it and give it to you, so that in case, if it's not on Redomi Books, it should be there by this weekend. But we already have it. Thank you. No, Mambo. It's not make me know. I think it's close to that most. Yes, of Premium Times. Yes. The journalist that works with Premium Times. Yes. Very good book. Very good. It will pour. All I call, I must say, we'll be reading some of those things. That's why I want to do less news. But people said last week that they want news. So we'll find that balance, I want to find the person's name, please. One second. Just to be sure. The Letterman, Inside the Secret Letters of Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, written by journalist Musikilu Mojid. I wanted to say Iskilu, but I wasn't sure. So it's Musikilu Mojid. It's a very good. The conversations he had with proper. The book was published a few months ago. It was a very good book. We have a lot of things to cover. We all learn together. Okay, we're all learning together. All right. Before we go, let's have Jakesman. And if anybody else wants to speak, I think you should send your request. We'll do Olusegun Obasanjo, Atiku Abubakar, and Osoba in the mix. We'll do that tomorrow. And just in case you didn't know what went down, we'll talk about all those things tomorrow. We spent too much time on Peter Bill. It's just, it is what it is. Jakesman, please.
Hello to Ekale.
Please keep it short.
Yes, 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 I won't stay long.
Yes, sir.
I will, first of all, I will say, Nela in Nigeria, Aku Suru at Iroju, because it takes Suru to cope with both Obi and so we're ready together, honestly. Because so where is someone that is still up TikTok page? Is his picture when he went to the court with his Babalawo. That is one I still use as my backup page. So maybe we'll have Babalawo as our chief of defense staff. If well, I don't think so, which is it's not. I can how do you say it? Envisage that him being the president. Okay, I'm not that much of Obi today, honestly. Although I still have a bit to say about him, but I'm of how did we get to that in Yoruba land, where someone, when I listened to that man speak, where I became shocked when he said it was not deliberate, which means deliberate. What he did was not deliberate. And this man is speaking, it was not deliberate in our land, and he became someone that is representing us in Abuja. How did we get there? Someone meeting Pelue, I dare know Yoruba that had a conversation with him to that point. It means this guy did not even grow up in Lagos at all. Why? Why have we gone so bad to that extent? And then that man was staying there. I still find a lot of things wrong. He accepted that gift that was brought to him. I never find any video of him rejecting that gift to say, listen, sorry, we cannot accept this. However, some people are saying in our culture, I don't accept and I don't believe in that. That gift should have been returned, and that man should have been told that you even thinking of contesting again is offensive to us. Because I could tell the man that was there speaking knows, Yoruba man knows that what he said was true. It was real that he said that the Yorubas are minority in that place. Everything he said, they know it's true. The man was saying, hey, na propaganda niabi. So it means you know. So why accepting those? Why? And this man came with all his representatives, Igbos and tourists, sorry. There was no Yoruba among them. I think we Yoruba, it should get to a point now. Honestly, from my own side, I think even we, the Yorubas in the diaspora, should have what is called diaspora conservative Yoruba Union. We should have something like that. We should get to the point where we make things impossible for the Yorubas who are too liberal and tend to want to sell us out. It happened in, what is it called, this country? Hungary. When the guy that left came into power, he came into power because they became conservative. They got fed up of when the WAR in Syria was happening. There were a lot of foreigners trooping into their country. They became tired of it and they said, no, this cannot continue. And that was how that Durban or Boba, what is that their ex-president's name? That's how he got into power. I think Yoruba language should do that. What we're doing is not good. We will not only become, minority in that very local area. If we are not careful, we will become minority in most of our land. We can't continue like this. This is terrible. We know this, we can't do that in their land, not in the southeast, not in the south, not in the north. Why only in southwest? Why only in Yoruba land? I've seen people come online contesting for position in our land and now saying, being indigenous, I want to vote for Igbo. Threatening Yorubas, they will vote for Igbos if the indigenous are not placed in that position. I'm sorry, it's a sorry case. This should not be. That's my concern in that area.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
1 minute.
No, it's okay.
Regarding, okay, thank you. Regarding Obi for me has a problem. I've been saying it for a long time. Obi cannot control his impulses. Obi, I think he has something called metomania, which is also known as pseudologia fantastica.
And this is right. The idea.
It simply means compulsive liar. That is the medical term. It's called metomania or metomaniac. It is also known as pseudologia fantastica. It's someone who lies and believes in their own lies. They lie so much that it becomes a natural thing for them. It's their culture now that they just lie for no reason. Whenever they open their mouth, they just lie. They can't control the impulses. They can't control themselves. So be someone like that, it simply means, a compulsive or a pathological liar. But when you want to get serious about it, you call it metomania. So Obi is out of control. And to ban support Obi as a Yoruba person should get himself checked. Something is very wrong. So as regarding Obi, I don't see him as a normal person again, honestly. Coming out to say all his cabinet as a governor were Muslim, that's honestly, it's I think he should get himself checked. He should get himself checked up. I'm sorry to say, but that is just the truth. Because the whole Nigeria is watching. You lying this bad. Somebody in that position. You still contesting. I've never seen such a politician in Nigeria before. The only person Morito Joma, and that guy was okay. That guy that I forgot his name now, that will be saying Pepe Sugin, equalizing.
Obia
Hagbon, something like that. But that guy was okay. He's just something that exaggerates his own grammar. It's not like Obi.
All right,
So my concern is Yoruba land. We need to change. This attitude needs to change. And the liberals fighting against the conservatives, you are wrong, please. You are very wrong. You need to check these people's land. Do they have such in their land? They don't. That's where we should start from.
All right.
It's a matter of reasoning.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, just very short clips to confirm some of the things he said. I mean, the gentleman, Jexman, mentioned that Obi said that he had Muslims working for him. You probably think that's a lie. Here's what he said. Take a listen. It's the truth, by the way.
So before I became president, I've always to date paid for at least, let me even be at least a Muslim every year to go to Hajj. Every year. And I have records of them. All the commissioners that served with me in 8 years I was in office were Muslims.
He said the commissioners that served with him in the 8 years in office were Muslims. Let me tell you some of their names. They were Christians. They just cut to the chase. They were Christians. Peter B can lie. Meanwhile, this is the same Peter B talking about begging.
Ask the president, why don't people have people who are begging all over the place? Because it's a Muslim culture. Say, what am I talking?
How can you want to be the president of Nigeria? You claim you can unite the country and you say begging is Muslim culture. It is well. It is well. We're going to call it a day now, by the way, because the other things I'd like us to get into, but because of time, we will do this tomorrow. We'll spend more time on, let me just sit down. Tomorrow we're going to start with Olusegun Obasanjo Atiku and Olusegun Osoba. We'll read the books I want to read, then we'll go to the news if we still have time. So that way we do history sometime, we do news sometime, and then we'll mix it up. And then I promise we will get to Balogun Law and Kiriji War. We have the materials and we also have the knowledge. It's just that we also have to find the time to make sure we can actually dedicate enough time to that topic. By the way, I saw what Prof was discussing with someone on Twitter where they're trying to demonize the Ekiti people. I'm also very careful how we do this because, when you listen to Ekiti State Anthem, there's a reason behind that the lyrics, the song, right? The lyrics of the anthem. There's a lot of history behind it, and it's important to understand that within the context of general Yoruba people, we don't have to shy away from history or try to rewrite history to make something look. But at the back of our minds, we have the unity of Yoruba people at the back of our minds, essentially. So what I'm saying basically is that we will discuss spiritual war and the lessons we can learn from it as Yoruba people. Um, but we're doing it as Yoruba people who are united, learning from our past. We don't have to rewrite it. We don't have to color it. We can say it as it is and learn from it. And that's the beauty of history anyway. It's been a great session today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll just read some of the comments on YouTube before we go. No, not yet. Someone says, I agree with need sessions on Nigerian heroes. No, he's actually specifically talking about Yoruba heroes, not just, we should have something for Nigerian heroes as well. Adetola. So, I'm going to say this thing before we go. This thing that you guys are doing is dangerous. And I can assure you, this person is not in Nigeria. When you say the only solution or the Nigeria is not useless. You are going the way of ESN. Eje Farabale. And if we ask you now, how are we going to do it? Hey, we'll do this. We'll do this. How? So if you have a plan to exit Nigeria, please let us know how you plan to do it. I'm tired of just hearing people vex and vent. All right. There's so many things. I think we've already gone past those stuff. By the way, if you commented on YouTube or Facebook, thank you very much. Akinola Isaiah on YouTube says, I'm shocked Rufai is finally waking up. It is despicable the way the so-called obedient follows him like a zombie. I can't see any of all the major contestants that can surpass Tinubu's achievements. I can't either. I don't. It's not just I can't. And they don't exist, to be clear. And that will lead to the conversation about Atiku Abubakar. By the way, Atiku paid $1.2 million to a US PR firm to, in a way, resurrect, in a way to resurrect Ashiwaju's forfeiture, whatever, in the US that relates to the drug case and all of those things. $1.2 million. That's over $1 billion. Well, we'll talk about all of that tomorrow. Vince Emmanuel says, don't make fun of the way he talks. I didn't. I just, it rubs me off the wrong way. So here's the thing, I can listen to anybody, right? But it's one thing to be saying nonsense. Another thing to not know how the voice even carries it. It's not very good. We'll call on Shan Bokwa. Anyway, let's call it a day at this point, all right? There's so many comments, but because I didn't see them at the time I was speaking, already. But thank you very much for being part of today's session. I want to thank everybody who has power tapped, liked, shared, commented on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter as well. Thank you very much for your support, and thanks for being here. We will meet again tomorrow at 4 p.m. if you're time West African time. If you join us for the first time, we do have the sessions every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. if you're time West African time. We discuss history, culture, politics, and innovation. And we will be here tomorrow to have a beautiful time together. But before we go to there, we're going to listen to our anthems, the Nigerian anthem and the Yoruba anthem. But let me ask, is there any, where's Bumblebee? I miss him today. TYD, I don't know. I don't think I should bring you up because I'm not sure. But we finished. Let's just go home on a good note like this. We'll be here tomorrow. Before we go, let's listen to our anthems, the Nigerian anthem and the Yoruba anthem. Again, before I go, thank you. Thanks to the people who gave gifts. T Dan, particularly because I saw her a number of times. Thank you very much for your support and for your generosity. And thank you everybody, for your support. Thank you, Duakala, for being here as well. Bumblebee, I didn't see you also. I missed your voice, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's have the anthems and then we'll call it a day. We'll be here tomorrow to continue.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our dear native land, the tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honor, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. Oh, all of our creation, practice our request. Help us to build a nation where nobody is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Nigeria may be blessed.
Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lépa, tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ọjọ́ kan yẹn ká jókòó ká sọ ìtumọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nínú orin yẹn. Báwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀, ìmọ́lẹ̀ wọ̀ ní wọ́kùn lágbára Ọlọ́run. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀, ìmọ́lẹ̀ wọ̀ ní wọ́kùn lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní bàjẹ́, Nàìjíríà náà ò ní bàjẹ́, ilé wa máa gbèrú sí i, Nàìjíríà náà á dá sí ni. Nǹkan tó bá dáwọ́lé May God bless you. May God keep you. God bless the work of your hands. God bless your family and everything that you do. May God bless Nigeria, our country, and Yoruba land, our nation. Our new Guadalawa. So that means that we've got a lot of work to do. We'll be a good example to others. And thanks so much for being part of this. Even not just in Africa, all over the world, wherever you have, people of dark skin. All right, right, and they will inspire the world. Be lovely. Do have a lovely evening. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. if time West African time. Do have a great night. Have a beautiful one. Odaro.